If you are over 60 and waking up 2, 3, even 4 times a night just to urinate, there is something important your body may be trying to tell you. And what most people never realize is that these nighttime bathroom trips are not only stealing your sleep, they may be quietly stealing your strength. Because every time you wake up in the dark, your body pays a price. Your brain loses deep restorative sleep. Your muscles recover less. Your balance becomes weaker the next day. Your reaction time slows down. And your risk of exhaustion, dizziness, falls, and even loss of independence slowly begins to rise. This is especially dangerous after 60. Many older adults believe waking up to pee at night is simply part of aging, but that belief causes thousands of seniors to ignore hidden warning signs for years. And here is the frightening part. Sometimes the real problem is not just the bladder at all. It may be your circulation, your sleep quality, hidden fluid retention, your diet, or daily habits that quietly overload your body every single night without you realizing it. You are probably trying to do the right thing. Maybe you drink more water because you want to stay healthy. Maybe you avoid exercise because your legs feel heavy or tired. Maybe you think cutting back on nighttime trips is impossible now that you are older. That is completely understandable. But tonight, I want to show you something hopeful. Because many seniors dramatically reduce nighttime urination using a few simple changes that are safe, gentle, and surprisingly effective. In fact, one of the methods we are going to discuss later helped older adults cut their nighttime bathroom trips nearly in half, and another may explain why some people keep waking up, even when their bladder is not truly full. So, stay with me, because the fifth strategy is simple. The third one surprises most people. And the number one mistake may be quietly exhausting your body night after night without you even noticing it. And when you finally understand what is really happening inside your body after dark, you may also begin protecting something far more important than sleep: your balance, your confidence, your energy, and your ability to remain independent as you age. Before we continue, I want to ask you something simple. How many times do you usually wake up at night to go to the bathroom? Is it once, twice, 3 or 4 times? Or does it sometimes feel like you barely sleep at all? Go ahead and share it in the comments below. You can simply write something like 2 times or every hour. And if this has been exhausting you lately, I want you to know something important. Many older adults struggle silently with this for years because they think it is embarrassing, or they believe nothing can really be done about it after a certain age, but that is not always true. In fact, some of the habits we are about to discuss are so overlooked that many seniors notice improvements within weeks simply because they finally understand what their body has been trying to tell them. Now, here is something many seniors never hear about. Sometimes nighttime urination is not caused only by what happens during sleep. It can begin with what happens during the day. After 60, the body depends heavily on regular movement to keep circulation working efficiently. When you sit too long or stay inactive for hours, fluid can slowly collect in the lower legs and feet. You may notice swollen ankles, heavy legs, tight socks leaving marks, or stiffness when standing. Many people assume this is simply aging. But here is what often happens next. When you lie down at night, gravity shifts. The fluid trapped in the legs moves back into circulation, and the kidneys begin filtering more liquid. That can lead to increased urine production, more bathroom trips, and repeated sleep interruptions throughout the night. Over time, fragmented sleep can quietly affect energy levels, balance, focus, memory, and even confidence walking safely at night. This is why gentle daytime movement matters far more than most seniors realize. Not intense exercise, not exhausting routines, just steady, consistent movement that supports circulation. A simple 20 to 30-minute walk during the morning or afternoon may help move fluid through the body more effectively. Even basic chair exercises can make a difference. Ankle circles, slow leg lifts, gentle stretching, or carefully standing and sitting several times. These small actions encourage healthier blood flow and help reduce fluid buildup before bedtime. And if you feel too tired or weak to move much, that is understandable. Poor sleep itself often creates the exhaustion that makes activity feel harder the next day. Unfortunately, this can become a difficult cycle. Less movement contributes to poorer circulation increases nighttime urination, and broken sleep creates even more fatigue. But small daily movement can help interrupt that pattern. Your sleep environment matters too. As we age, the brain becomes more sensitive to nighttime disturbances. A room that is too bright, noisy, cold, or mentally stimulating can train the brain to wake more easily. Reducing screen exposure before bed, dimming lights, and creating a calm bedtime routine may help the brain settle into deeper, more restorative sleep. Because deep sleep protects far more than energy. It helps support memory, immune health, balance, and long-term independence. And what happens next inside the bladder may surprise many people even more, because sometimes the bladder is not truly weak at all, only overly sensitive. Now, this next strategy may surprise you, because frequent nighttime urination does not always mean the bladder is wearing out. In many cases, the bladder becomes overly sensitive and starts signaling urgency too early, even when it is not completely full. Over time, the brain and bladder can develop a habit of waking during the night. After months or years, the body almost begins expecting those bathroom trips. This is where bladder training can become very helpful. And no, this is not about forcing yourself to hold urine painfully. The goal is to gently retrain communication between the bladder and the nervous system. For example, if you normally use the bathroom every hour during the daytime, you may slowly increase the interval by 10 to 15 minutes. Gradual changes help teach the bladder that it does not need to react immediately to every small sensation. Many people eventually notice fewer sudden urges and better nighttime control. And this matters for more than sleep alone. Constant urgency often creates anxiety. Some seniors become nervous about leaving the house, sitting through long events, or sleeping deeply because they fear they will not reach the bathroom in time. Over time, that fear can slowly reduce confidence and independence. Another important piece involves the pelvic floor muscles. These muscles support the bladder and help control urine flow. But after 60, they often weaken due to aging, inactivity, surgery, chronic coughing, or years of physical strain. When pelvic floor support declines, bladder control may become less stable. Urgency, leaks, and nighttime waking can all become more common. This is why gentle Kegel exercises are often recommended. Kegels strengthen the muscles used to stop urine flow. Simply tighten those muscles for a few seconds, then relax. Many older adults benefit from doing 10 to 15 gentle repetitions several times per day. The key is consistency, not force. The body responds gradually through steady practice and repetition. And many people who stay consistent with bladder training and pelvic floor exercises begin noticing fewer nighttime awakenings, improved bladder control, and greater confidence over time. Because every night of better sleep helps support balance, memory, energy, and long-term independence. And the next strategy may explain an even deeper cause of nighttime urination: fluid quietly building up in the body during the day. Now, this next habit is something many older adults unintentionally get wrong, even when they are genuinely trying to stay healthy. They drink too much water too late in the day, and that can quietly increase nighttime urination. Here is why this matters. After 60, the body becomes less efficient at managing circulation and fluid balance. During the day, gravity naturally pulls fluid downward, allowing it to collect in the legs, ankles, and feet. That is why many seniors notice swelling by evening. Shoes feel tighter, socks leave marks, and the legs may feel heavy or stiff. But the important part happens later. When you lie down at night, that fluid begins moving back into the bloodstream. The kidneys then filter the excess liquid, which increases urine production while you are trying to sleep. In many cases, the bladder is not the original problem at all. The issue may actually begin with fluid buildup earlier in the day. This is why hydration timing can make a meaningful difference. Rather than drinking large amounts of fluid during the evening, many healthcare professionals recommend consuming most daily fluids earlier in the day. For many older adults, roughly 1.5 to 2 liters before mid-afternoon allows the body more time to process fluids before bedtime, unless a doctor has recommended different limits for a medical condition. But this does not mean avoiding water. Some seniors become so frustrated with nighttime urination that they start drinking too little. Unfortunately, dehydration can increase dizziness, constipation, weakness, confusion, urinary irritation, and fall risk. The goal is not less hydration. It is better hydration timing. Another helpful strategy is elevating the legs for 30 to 60 minutes later in the day. This may help shift some retained fluid out of the legs before bedtime, reducing the amount the kidneys must process overnight. Some people also benefit from daytime compression stockings to reduce swelling and support circulation, although they are not appropriate for everyone and should be discussed with a healthcare professional first. Because once sleep becomes repeatedly interrupted, the effects spread quickly: lower energy, poorer balance, slower movement, and reduced confidence. That is why protecting sleep after 60 is really about protecting independence. And the next strategy may help even more by improving how completely the bladder empties before sleep begins. Before we continue, I want to pause for just a moment and say something important. If this video is resonating with you, if you miss the feeling of deep, uninterrupted sleep, I want you to type the word REST in the comments below. Just one simple word, because for many older adults, this is not only about the bathroom anymore. It is about wanting your energy back, wanting clearer mornings, wanting to feel steady when you stand up at night, wanting your body and mind to finally feel calm again. And I think a lot of people watching this silently carry that same exhaustion every single day. So if that sounds like you, write REST below. And remember this as we continue. Your body is not finished responding. Even after 60, even after years of broken sleep, the body can still improve when it receives the right support consistently. Small changes repeated daily can create surprisingly powerful results over time, and this next strategy is one of the simplest of all. But many seniors notice improvement almost immediately once they start doing it correctly before bed each night. Now, this next strategy sounds almost too simple to matter, but for many older adults, it becomes one of the most effective habits for reducing nighttime bathroom trips. Because sometimes the issue is not how much urine the bladder can hold. It is how much urine remains inside the bladder before sleep even begins. As we age, the bladder often stops emptying as efficiently as it once did. The bladder muscles may weaken, nerve signals can slow down, and in some men, an enlarged prostate can partially block urine flow. As a result, leftover urine may stay inside the bladder even after using the bathroom. That creates a problem at night. You go to bed believing the bladder is empty, but it is already partially full. Then, even a small amount of urine produced overnight creates pressure quickly, triggering urgency and repeated awakenings. This is where two simple strategies can help: smarter fluid timing and double voiding. First, many healthcare professionals recommend limiting large amounts of fluid about 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. This does not mean avoiding water completely. Small sips are fine if needed. The goal is simply reducing how much fluid the kidneys must process during the night. The second strategy is called double voiding. Right before bed, urinate normally. Then remain near the bathroom for another 30 to 60 seconds. Relax, breathe slowly, and try again. That second attempt often helps release residual urine the bladder did not fully empty the first time. For many seniors, this small habit noticeably reduces nighttime urgency and repeated trips to the bathroom, especially when practiced consistently. And this matters for far more than convenience. Every nighttime awakening increases the risk of dizziness, falls, and injuries in dark hallways or unfamiliar footing. Broken sleep also affects energy, concentration, balance, and overall independence. That is why improving sleep after 60 is not just about comfort. It is about protecting mobility, confidence, and the ability to remain safe at home. And please remember this. Most people were never taught how strongly bladder emptying habits and fluid timing influence nighttime urination. Small nightly habits can create meaningful improvements over time. And the final strategy may be the most surprising of all, because research suggests one overlooked part of the daily diet may dramatically affect nighttime urination in older adults. Now we come to the strategy that surprises many older adults the most. Because sometimes the real problem is not the bladder itself. It is diet, especially sodium intake. After 60, the body becomes far more sensitive to how it handles salt and fluid balance. The kidneys become less efficient, hormone signaling changes, and excess sodium causes the body to retain more fluid during the day. Eventually, that extra fluid must be processed and removed, and much of that work happens at night. The result can be increased urine production, more bathroom trips, and repeated sleep interruptions. This is not just speculation. Research from Japan found that older adults who significantly reduced sodium intake experienced major improvements in nocturia. In some cases, nighttime urination was reduced by nearly half after several weeks of lower sodium eating habits. That is a powerful reminder that small dietary changes can sometimes create meaningful improvements without extreme measures. Many health experts recommend limiting salt intake to roughly 6 to 8 grams daily for older adults struggling with nighttime urination, although individual medical needs always matter. And here is what many people overlook. Most sodium does not come from the salt shaker. It comes from processed and packaged foods, canned soups, frozen meals, deli meats, fast food, snack foods, sauces, and restaurant meals. These foods can contain surprisingly large amounts of sodium, even when they do not taste extremely salty. That is why reading labels becomes increasingly important with age. Simple substitutions can help significantly. Fresh foods, unsalted nuts, herbs, garlic, parsley, ginger, and homemade meals often support healthier fluid balance better than heavily processed options. Another important factor involves bladder irritants. Certain foods and drinks can make the bladder more reactive, especially later in the day. Common triggers include caffeine, alcohol, carbonated beverages, artificial sweeteners, spicy foods, and acidic items like citrus juices or tomato products. Not everyone reacts the same way, but many seniors notice fewer nighttime awakenings when they reduce these irritants during afternoon and evening hours. And this matters for much more than sleep alone. Better sleep improves balance, focus, energy, emotional stability, and confidence. Poor sleep, especially after 60, can quietly affect independence over time. That is why these changes are so valuable. Because every uninterrupted night of sleep helps protect the brain, the body, and the ability to remain active, steady, and independent for years to come. Now, I would genuinely love to hear from you. Which idea surprised you most today? Was it the effect of sodium, fluid buildup in the legs, bladder training, or how small daily habits can strongly affect sleep after 60? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you feel comfortable, tell us what has been hardest lately. Poor sleep, nighttime bathroom trips, heavy legs, low energy, or fear of falling at night. You are not alone in this struggle. Millions of older adults face the same exhausting cycle. And sometimes, understanding what is happening is the first step towards sleeping better, feeling stronger, and rebuilding confidence again. Before we finish, remember this tonight. Your body is not working against you. Even after years of poor sleep or exhaustion, it is still responding to the habits you practice every day. The changes we discussed are not extreme. Small adjustments, reducing sodium, improving hydration timing, moving more gently, supporting circulation, and creating a calmer bedtime routine can gradually improve how the body functions after 60. Because aging is often shaped by daily patterns repeated over time. And the encouraging news is that the body can still adapt. Better sleep can improve energy, balance, mood, mental clarity, and confidence. Many older adults assume nothing can change once sleep problems become routine, but that is not always true. Sometimes the body simply needs more consistent support, and when sleep improves, life often feels safer and more manageable again. You move with greater confidence, think more clearly, and regain some of the independence that fatigue quietly steals. This was never only about nighttime urination. It was about protecting your long-term health, mobility, and quality of life. So be patient with yourself. Your body has carried you through decades of life, and it still responds to care, movement, rest, and healthier habits, often more than people realize. If this video helped you, I would truly appreciate your support through a like and subscription. These conversations matter because many older adults silently struggle with poor sleep, fatigue, balance issues, and fear of losing independence. And if you know someone waking up multiple times each night, please share this video with them. One helpful piece of guidance can sometimes improve both sleep and quality of life. Also, leave a comment below. Your experience may encourage someone else who feels alone in this struggle. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of your sleep, your health, and your future, and I'll see you in the next video.